All right, we're going to go on to a related story somewhat to the three countries, Ireland, Norway, and Spain, recognizing a Palestinian state. This story has to do with the ICC request for arrest warrants against Netanyahu. European countries signal support for ICC after arrest warrant request. France and Germany were among the European nations to show support for the International Criminal Court after its prosecutor applied for arrest warrants against top Israeli and Hamas officials on charges of war crimes and crimes against humanity. In a statement Monday, France's foreign ministry said that the decision over whether to issue arrest warrants rested with the ICC's judge. France supports the International Criminal Court, its independence, and the fight against impunity in all situations, the statement read. Germany, a staunch ally of Israel, described the court as a fundamental achievement of the international community, but it expressed reservations that the decision to apply for arrest warrants against both Israeli and Hamas leaders gave the false impression of equivalence. So there you go, parroting that line, which we talked about on the last show. Nevertheless, Berlin reaffirmed its support for the ICC. My
uncle was a Nazi, but I am not.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, basically. Nevertheless, Berlin reaffirmed its support for the ICC. Germany respects its independence and its procedures like those of all other international courts. See, so this is a way to apply. See, the other good thing about this ICC arrest warrant, assuming it's handed down, is that it applies pressure not only to Israel, but to a country like Germany, which has been so subservient to Israel for all these years. Well, now they're stuck between a rock and a hard place, because now they either have to disavow Israel or the ICC. And the Germans don't really want to do either one for pretty obvious reasons, right? Their history really puts them in a bind when it comes to that question. That's a lose-lose situation, right? Belgium's and Slovenia's foreign ministries also issued statements welcoming the arrest warrant applications, saying that those responsible for war crimes in both Israel and the Palestinian territories should be prosecuted. All four countries are parties to the ICC's founding charter, which would require them to execute arrest warrants on their soil if judges approve the prosecutor's request. It's unclear whether the country's show of support meant that they are willing to execute arrest warrants issued against Israeli leaders in their territory. The statements differed in tone from those issued by the United States, Israel, and Britain. Neither Israel nor the United States is a member state of the ICC. The prosecutor has requested arrest warrants for Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. In a statement Tuesday, Gallant said the state of Israel is not a party to the court and does not recognize its authority. Secretary of State Antony Blinken called the decision to apply for the arrest warrants shameful, and he reaffirmed the United States' stance that the ICC does not have legal jurisdiction over the conflict in the Gaza Strip. A spokesperson for the British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak called the prosecutor's request not helpful in relation to reaching a pause in the fighting, getting hostages out, or getting humanitarian aid in. So now you're talking about the ICC ruling coming down and Germany feeling not good about the arrest warrant. Like, they don't like the fact that they're being put in this spot, but you are putting them in this spot. Don't forget, Nicaragua sued Germany at the International Court of Justice for enabling genocide. So now you face a decision in Germany. Okay, we're uncomfortable with the fact that this ruling is coming down, that this warrant may be handed down. Assuming it is handed down, what do? Do they withdraw from the ICC to protect Israel? Because they're not going to be comfortable doing that either, right? I mean, their history really obliges them to avoid genocide, and they're pretty bad at doing that. But if you force them to make a decision, okay, are you going to protect Israel? You can't both protect Israel and remain a member of the ICC. Which is it, right? That puts a pressure on them that's long overdue. And so you see now, and then obviously you had the base takes coming from, what were the two other ones? Belgium and Slovenia, who said, yeah, they show up here, they're not leaving outside handcuffs. So it really is a situation where the world sentiment has turned much quicker than it did the first time, the first round.
Yes. Well, I think with Germany, what gave them the room to maneuver here is the fact that the ICC and the ICJ are perceived as a response to the Holocaust. So they were able to side with the institutions that were created to avoid another Holocaust. In that way, they could take a position against Israel without bringing up icky feelings about siding against them.
Right, exactly. What they're saying is we don't love the ruling, but we respect the jurisdiction of the court and the independence of the court. So then, on the question of, okay, well, will you enforce an arrest warrant against Netanyahu? If the ICC issues a warrant for the arrest of Netanyahu and Netanyahu wants to come make a speech in Germany, are you going to tell him you can't come here because we'll arrest you if you come here? Because that's what they're going to have to do if they want to stay in good standing with the ICC. So now you're forcing them to make a choice, right? And that's a good thing.
Please clap.